we're out here at the beautiful Sylver Spoon Theater in New Braunfels, Texas, ready for Sam's live show, his recording. I grew up with Sam. We've known each other since we were about this tall, and I'm so proud of him and can't wait for y'all to see this.
Hey there, Rob Huey here. Just want to say something really quick to you, Sam, who I met now my Bubba in life on the set of Love and Death. We had instant chemistry. The mega powers began and they have evolved, and now we're just going to run the world. So that's how we met. But from me to you, you're made for this. You're born, this is what you were made for, and you're going to kill it. You're hilarious. I love you, and I'm so fucking excited to see you up there. I've been waiting for this, man. And what can I say? Break legs, slay, Slade. Slay, Slade. Love you, brother. Kill it.
Hi, I'm Tara, and I know Sam because we lived together. We met in 2019 on Bumble, and we got together shortly before the pandemic, and then we were locked down in that apartment for years. So I know all of your jokes, Sam. I know you got good material and all your stuff because we've been laughing about it for years now. So it's time for everyone else to get a chance to see how great you are. So I'm proud of you. You worked so hard on this, and it's only going to bring good things. So love you.
Sorry, it took me a minute. I was updating my OnlyFans. How's everybody? You guys look awesome tonight. Look at everybody all dressed up. You guys can't get laid after a Sam Slade show. You're not trying. Look at all these beautiful faces in from all over the place. So nice to be doing this in New Braunfels, right? Yeah. Beautiful place. What a step up from old Braunfels, right? I like to get places early now. I'm a little bit older, pushing 40. I like to show up early. I don't like to rush anymore. The other day I went to the doctor. They told me I'm pre-diabetic. So I was like, cool, I didn't miss it. That's awesome. I had time to get a hot dog and a beer and get some good seats. Oh man, this is awesome. You guys look great. Thanks for coming out. How are you guys? It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
What's up, man?
Chilling. Oh man, good.
I like the full maroon outfit. It was really nice.
You know she was getting on.
Did she dress you? Did you come up with this outfit?
No, you know she didn't.
Break up with her. Break up with her. Just kidding. I'm kidding. No. She seems nice. You know. Let's not dig myself into a hole here. Terrell Troxler, ladies and gentlemen, getting this off to a weird start. Oh my God, it's so cool to see so many happy faces after living in a one-room apartment, driving my partner Tara Brown nuts for 2 years. Boy, remember COVID? Does anybody remember anymore? Remember you'd sit there, and like 3 months in, if you're anything like us, Tara and I were like, you know, we trusted our president because it's the patriotic thing to do. You know, he said it'll be over by Easter. He didn't say what year Easter. So we'd sit around, we watched everything, we played everything, went through all the board games, beat every video game, and you get to a place where you just were sitting there going, just say something interesting, anything at all. It made people nuts. I know Tara deserves a fucking silver star. I didn't serve in the military, obviously. Purple Heart's more like it for the stuff she put up with. She's here. She put this whole show together. Let's hear, give a hand for Tara Brown. Let's get ready for the show. So I went to get cleaned up. I went to this really fancy salon. It's called Sports Clips. And if you're not familiar with Sports Clips, what they do is they distract you with big screens of sports, spoiler, to make sure you don't see how bad they're cutting your hair, which is nice. But I've gotten so spoiled the last couple of years on sets, people cutting my hair and like getting these really nice fancy haircuts. I walk in and they go, hey, just the haircut today or the shampoo? I go, you know what, just a haircut, and if you could get me one of those little sandwiches with the crab cake and the fried egg? They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? It doesn't matter. Guys, we're the only, me and another guy, the only two people in the place. It's like 8:30 a.m. Just two sad gingers getting their haircuts at Sports Clips. The place is empty, but they sit us right next to each other. It's awesome. I love that kind of shit, right? Meet your new partner, right? So I'm sitting there, and I opt to not make discussion because it's 8:30, and I'm hungover. I'm waiting for the edible to kick in. They're not just for breakfast anymore. And I'm sitting there and I'm talking, I'm listening to this guy talk, and he opens with, I never got the pro sports thing. Do you know where you are? And I was like, okay, I'll just hear him out. Let me just see what this guy has to say. Meanwhile, I'm distracted by some Sports Center clip, and they're like just hacking off chunks of my hair everywhere. So it's a World Baseball Classic. If you're not familiar, almost every country in the world, I think North Korea's been sitting it out lately, plays in a baseball tournament. And so you get third world countries that are not doing, well, we're not doing that well, but not doing that well, right? So this game happens to be Japan versus Iran. Interesting matchup, sports fans. And and the guy goes, look at these guys. They're making these millions of dollars just to play a game. And it took me everything in him to go like, no. Team Iran is playing to get their cousin out of prison. Team Iran's not going back to a Wheaties box. They're going back to like a lamb kebab that's probably not good for them. But I didn't say anything, because I'm a big pussy like that. So I sat there, and they're chopping off my hair, and I'm watching World Baseball Classic, and he goes, same guy, he goes, he starts lecturing the lady about how to cut around his bald spot. I'm like, she works at Sports Clips. She's obviously qualified. She's not at Sports Clips. So he goes on into this tirade, anti-sports guy, doesn't get it, doesn't get baseball. Very weirdo dude. And then she goes, well, where do you work? He goes, oh, Austin Country Club. You're like, whoa, okay. And they go, what department? And he goes, oh, the golf course, the pro shop. So this guy just did this tangent about how he doesn't get pro sports, and he works in the richest, whitest sport there is in this country. So I'm trying to follow his logic. The edible's slowly kicking in. He then goes on to tell the woman how lonely he is, just in general, just lonely. I'm like, wait, the guy lecturing the Sports Clips hairstylist is lonely? I'll bite. Let's see where this goes. So he goes, I'm just tired of the rat race. I'm slumming it over at Austin Country Club at the pro shop. Okay? And then he goes, if I don't figure out something soon, I'll have to start an OnlyFans page. Okay, now, I'll admit it. I'm comfortable enough with my sexuality. I can tell you, Rob Huey, he was just up here. Very sexy man. He's upsettingly charming and handsome. This guy was not that. So when he said, I guess I'll have to just start an OnlyFans, the whole place just comes to an absolute stop and a silence. The lady taking clippers to my hair that I asked her not to do, she dropped the clippers. Which is so everybody's really upset and bummed out by then. I'm still waiting on this edible. I'm like, is this it? Did I eat the wrong dosage? What the fuck? Iran's making a great comeback in the 9th inning. That's awesome. And then I get out of there and I do my sad thing where you have to decide how much to tip them in front of them on the screen. And they're like, what's it going to be? And you're like, you know what? I'll go with about like an 8 spot for you, just because the guy's sad story was so entertaining. How about that? It's not the haircut. So let's just make it clear what I'm tipping for. It's just the in-house entertainment. So then I leave and I get caught up returning texts and emails and stuff in the car, jamming out to some 80s rock song people pretend they forgot about. I don't even know what it was. And I follow the guy, and he's in front of me pulling out of the intersection. And it's an access road to the highway. And he keeps kind of pumping it, like stop, start, stop, start. I'm like, what's this guy doing? He's not paying attention. I see the bald spot. Boy, they cut around that. That's all I'm seeing. And so the sad, lonely guy, he pulls out. I'm not even kidding. He gets hit by a bus. It was awful. I would have called 911. 911? Who says that? I would have called an ambulance. 911. See how often I get involved? I think it's 911 you want to call. He gets hit by this bus, and I like, it was bad. It was carnage. I mean, the bald spot was like on the street. And I look up, and the bus, I'm not even kidding, it was a minor league baseball team's bus. I don't know. The guy, he's not lonely anymore, though, so, that's done. They're scraping off the bald spot with like a spatula, a firefighter. Mail it back to his family. Oh, man. If you want to commit a crime now, do it in Austin. Do it in Austin. We used to be like a charming little college town, right? Now we're just like a playground for celebrities a couple times a year with no police force. Tara and I had her car stolen out of our driveway on a Tuesday at 2:30 in the afternoon. We called, she came home for lunch. She was going to go to see Lady Gaga again in concert. So she comes home early, and she runs upstairs, and we eat a real short, quick lunch. And then because I'm a gentleman, right? Obviously, look at me. I take her bag down to the car. I got it, babe. Don't worry about it. I get down there. There's no car. No car. And I go, that was funny. Where'd you park the car? Oh, you prankster. I love you, you crazy prankster. She goes, no, I parked in the spot, in the driveway. Okay. Well, I'm like, I'm getting nervous just thinking about it, how just mind-blowing it was. So we call APD. Wish we had it. We call APD. They come out like 4 hours later. And by the way, it was my argument to Tara, this is why you don't take short lunches, okay? Come on, guys. I know this shirt doesn't fit, but we can all laugh at no short lunches. So they come out there, and it's this 100-year-old guy who's still he's not even in detective clothes. He's in like in patrol uniform, and he's like, he should have retired like after the tower shooting. He's that old. And he comes out, and first of all, he sits in his car for about 30 minutes on his phone playing Fruit Ninja. Tara has to walk over and knock on the window. Sir. So he's like, just let me finish my top score. So then he comes over and he goes, well, where did it happen? And we go, it was parked right here in this driveway. And he goes, well. And Tara and I are looking at each other like, is this a fucking bit? What is this guy doing? And he goes, well, your car's not here. Okay. You know what? It's fine, sir. You can go. You can just go. Take your taser. In fact, tase me. Tase me before you go. So 3 nights later, the crack APD that barely exists. It's like a volunteer. It's like a small town volunteer fire department at this point, where guys are like finishing dinner, like, well, I guess we got to get out there. They're burning down Lamar, and he. Like 3 nights later, we get a call at 9:30, and Terry answers it because I told her not to. And we've had a couple glasses of wine, and it's like, hey, this is APD, come get your car. And Tara's so excited. This is Tara's the first new car she bought. It's a milestone in your 30s, right? Like, you could afford a new car. It was her baby. It was a black Kia. She'd drive it, but then like 20 minutes later, she'd want to drive it more, It's a Korean car. Come on, this is a taping. Can anyone tell him this is a taping? So they find, hey, come down here and get your car. It's like 11 at night. And I go, Tara, I don't think that's how that works. I don't think the cops are just like, hey, we found this stolen property. Just come meet us in this dark alley and come get it. So I was like, Tara, I don't think you should do that. She's so fired up. She calls one of her best friends. He goes, I would, but I just took like 2 Ambien and drank a glass of wine. So I was like, once again, Big Pharma coming through for us. All right. Because that's a thing. So she's so excited. And I finally convinced her not to go down there. Because they're like, hey, just come down here and get your car. Don't bring anyone with you, okay? You're a young woman? Okay, good. Just come alone. Wear something revealing and don't ask her names. So we convinced her not to go. When I say we, me and the animals were like, meow. Babe, don't. Rough. So a compelling argument. So she doesn't go, and then she goes to pick up the car at impound. And it's one of these moments where she gets so annoyed with me where I'm like, ma'am, I know I didn't go to law school, but my father used to be, I think, we're not close, used to be an attorney. So so pretty much makes, family business. So I can just walk you right through this. She gets down there, the entire steering column is ripped out, there's wires everywhere. So they were gonna have Tara meet her in a dark alley, no suspects, wear something revealing, don't ask our names, and then just hotwire your own car, drive home. So that's how Austin's going. It was nice to get out of town. It's getting so bad that they're thinking about changing the name of Zilker Park. Did you guys hear that? It's going to be called, oh my God, that guy's on fire! Park. There's fucking street racing and shit now. Did you guys see that at Barton Springs in Lamar? Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you, Regina, for having my back. One person saw. 500 street racers down there, one person in this room saw. Okay, good. If only we had a police force. Kirk Watson can't do this shit by himself, everybody. He's only one man with one Harley Davidson. So there's a bar across the street from where they were, remember when they chased off a cop? They were going so fucking crazy that they chased off an Austin cop. If I had to die every time an Austin cop beat down my apartment door in my 20s, I wouldn't be playing here tonight. Let's just say that. I'd still be on like the chopper with the Mopac Mafia because I'd be all Fat Elvis by now. That's right, man. Just get us out of here. Let's take the helicopter. Not like that skinny tweak Elvis, whatever that movie was. My parents were so excited about that movie, I felt so bad because I was like, oh yeah, the Twink Elvis movie, cool. Yeah, no, I watched it. She's like, well, my mom, what'd you think? I was like, oh yeah, you already died on the toilet? That was bad. It's clear I didn't watch it. So that bar, that intersection right there where they were street racing and making cops scared for their lives, there's a bar right there in the corner. And I used to go to that bar a lot. Usually for the cheap drinks, and it was the cheap drinks. But I used to get kicked out of that bar on a regular basis for being mouthy to the bartender, whatever that's supposed to mean. I don't know what that means. Irrelevant, Your Honor. Family business stuff. Okay, these people were burning down the fucking street corner. People just sitting out there drinking. It's like, man, this is crazy. I wonder what they're going to do for ACL this year. Austin's a mess right now. It's bad. It's bad. I'm glad you guys skipped the last day of South by to come down here for this. So just imagine it, it's like you're watching Matt Damon's fat, dead, bloated body on stage. Right? Like the picture they find where they're like, did you hear Matt Damon? They found him dead in a hotel. Ben Affleck just never gets it up for J-Lo ever again. I'm kidding. Everyone gets it up for J-Lo. Oh, I know that a lot of people, some of you guys had to have babysitters tonight. That's a pain in the ass on a Sunday. This is a wonderful couple. I know that they hired a babysitter for their children tonight. Romantic night out. Thank you for coming. It's not easy. It's not easy. I see my friends who have kids and, they make it look so cool outwardly, right? Like when you're around, they make it look cool. And then, as soon as that door shuts, it's, get the fuck out of the room. If I have to listen to Baby Dolphin one more time, Is that song? I don't know, Baby Shark? Obviously, I'm not a parent. We had real heroes like the Muppets. Fucking FTB, Fozzie the Bear up in here. That's what I'm talking about. Obviously, I took it a little serious, right? I'll tell you, getting the show together really was. It was like, the Muppets would team up and pull off a show. That's kind of how this happened. If Tarantino directed the Muppets. People got stressed at times. But yeah, you think about being a kid, and you go, God, they make it look so fun. But then I remember what me and my brothers were like when we were kids. And it doesn't sound so fun anymore. We do, like, what did you guys do when you were a kid? Like you and your siblings. Don't tell me you don't have siblings. Just go with it. You're a smart guy.
Man, we played outside.
We played outside.
Yeah.
We did too, but the game we played outside was throw rocks at cars. And we lived in the suburb because Dad was making a lot of money, so the point system was like Toyota, we give you like 2 for it. Hit that new Lexus, we're going home. We're making snow cones. In fact, we got tired of blowing out our arms throwing rocks at cars. So what we do is we started setting up boulders. It was a little tiny little road our street was. So the 3 of us would have to carry these boulders together. We'd sit them down on the road, and then we'd go climb up into this little wooded area, this little cliff, and we watch these fat Republican accountants get out of their car and try to move these boulders after a long day of working for some corporation doing the numbers all day. And we just roll around, and then finally it got around who it was the Slade brothers. So then you have this new level to where we're like, make sure we do it good so they know who it was, all right? Like, only the huge boulders that we know for a fact Mr. Mason from down the road's fat ass will never be able to move. So we'd watch them, and they'd get to a point all sweaty. They'd be taking off the tie. God damn you, Slade brothers. And that wasn't enough. We'd be like, I think we get 3 more today. I think we can get 3 more. I remember I was so excited to do this show. I was born premature. That's how I was born a month premature. It was the last time I was early for anything. I was excited about the show. It had nothing to do with my poor pregnant mother being in every 80s room just filled full of menthol smoke. Just Marlboro Red and menthols. And they're like, I wonder why he's only 4 pounds, 4 ounces. It's fine. Like, I know my mom wasn't smoking, but it's like, hey, where do you want to sit in the 80s, right? Smoking or non-smoking. The difference between smoking and non-smoking was here to here. So I think there might be a flaw in the logic there. Anyways, I turned out okay. I think I caught up, right? That looks like I missed any meals. In fact, I skipped dinner tonight, so all you guys can eat before me. You're welcome. Gentlemen. No, I was born premature, but I was already fucking funny. See? If I can figure out how to use a microphone. So I'd be in the NICU, where they put the babies who they don't have a shot, just put them in there for a couple days. I'd be in there, and I'm already doing bits, can't move your hands barely. I'm in the thing they keep the chicken tenders warm at 7-Eleven? I'm in that little thing. Got my oxygen mask on or whatever, the little cord, the tiny little, it's like, you put it on a frog, that's how small I was, a little frog just beep, beep. So I had my little thing on. I'm already doing bits, like topical stuff. You see these bears? Tell the Bears team. That was a good Super Bowl. This shit went way better when I practiced on my cats last night. Doing topical stuff. What about this Ryan kid? He's kind of a pussy, huh? You remember that kid? I had a blood transfusion 2 days in. This kid got a blood transfusion, just moped around school until he died. That's the way to live. My mom's going, who's Ryan? I'm like, obviously you were outside smoking and not watching the news. Oh man, so Ryan was a real pussy. I'm kidding. It's such a dark thing to say about this kid who put AIDS on the map and brought it to the forefront of America. But it was through a blood transfusion. He wasn't just a really wild 12-year-old. So I got a blood transfusion. I think to this day my dad thinks I have AIDS. Just pre-diabetic, which means I have a little punch card of how many more pieces of cake I can eat in my life. We're getting close. And I don't get a free one. I just get the gout when I'm done. Oh, come on. What do you guys come straight from church? I was late to church this morning. I was at home eating edibles. No, so I was roasting people already in the NICU. It wasn't going well. And you know, we're doing the thing with the rocks. What'd you guys say? Harassing that account? Is that what you called it? I think we gave him a stroke, to be honest. Like, just a couple days later, we saw like the funeral procession go through his heart literally exploded trying to pick up those boulders. But goddamn, would his face get red? It was fun. So fun. So finally, my parents go, these animals need a fucking babysitter. Enough. They obviously cannot. We can't trust them. They killed Mr. Mason. Jesus Christ. So they hire us, you know, my parents were always, they're very liberal when I was growing up. Now my dad's like planning the next Capitol riot, but when we were little, they were real liberal. And they were they were really cool about giving people second chances and stuff. So they hired this lady who was like some kind of burnout. You know, if I had to guess at my age, I'd say like she was some weird mescaline addict. You know, like just getting tagged behind a porta potty at a Kiss concert too many times. No Gene Simmons fans here. Well, it's going to be a sad reunion in San Antonio again. By the way, this is my last stand-up special ever, so, you know, it's making a big deal. Until my next last stand-up special. It's called the Paul Stanley. It's a Kiss joke. For the kids, it's the weirdos with the makeup. So we had this babysitter, and this is like the level of fun this babysitter was. Hey, what are you guys going outside to do? We're going outside to play hide and go seek, and it's none of your goddamn business. So she go, okay, hey, new rules, because my slower son, who's kind of a dork and homeschooled, you know, he was probably storming the Capitol last year. When was it? Time flies when you're being treasonous. And so this kid had to play with us. She'd force this kid into our thing. So we start off slow. We go, you know, a new game, no hide and seek. Today we're playing Prisoner of War Camp. So me and my two brothers would take one of those long construction site. We're done with the premature baby doing bits in the NICU, right? I can put this up. So we would tie this kid to the basketball goal, and we would leave him there for hours on end. And his mom would never come out. There's no telling what she's doing in my parents' medicine cabinet. We're like, why are there knives with crushed up pills all over them? She's like, go outside. Your parents gave me a second chance. Get back out there. So we take turns. Well, I did it. I was kind of the general. I was kind of patting. So I'd watch from the game room window upstairs. Watch this kid while I'm playing second change. You still out there? All right. So my other two brothers would do shifts watching him out there. Now, what went on between them and him, I don't want to know. That wasn't my department. So then, we play hide and go seek, and she'd go, hey, my kid's slow, so you can play in this open area of mowed grass. Hide and go seek. You guys familiar with the game? One hides, everyone else seeks. It's old school. So we'd go, what do you mean there's nowhere to hide or to seek right there? It's just a piece of grass. She's like, yeah, my son's slow, and I'm going through your parents' medicine cabinet, so just make it work. So I don't know how we came up with this at one point, but I don't know who told us this joke, but like a relative or something. I know you guys remember it from like the uncle jokes in the 90s. What's up? The answer, always, is chicken butt. Oh, yeah. Every time. We ran that motherfucker into the ground. Everything that this lady asked us from then on. Once we got a little whiff that she didn't like that joke, you know, because, hey, Paul Stanley behind a porta potty, that's one thing, but a chicken's bare butt? I'm gonna have to go wash the Kiss makeup off my face in other areas. Again, Kiss was a band in the 70s. Things were different. So we did this chicken butt thing. Just, hey, what do you guys want on the pizza? Chicken butt? What's up? That's right. So one day she has enough. Obviously, mom and dad hadn't done their prescription refill, so this lady's on edge. Hide and go seek. We're just beating the kid's ass. You know, we played about all the prisoners. Like the war's over. There's no more prisoner of war. We let him come home finally. And it was a long war though. So finally she gets fed up and she says, everybody go to your room. And do your parents keep their pills anywhere else? No, she goes, everybody go to your room. And we had never been sent to our rooms. We're like, what is that? What are you talking about? Do you need something from my room? Are we changing clothes? Are we going to the park? What are we doing? No, go to your room by yourself. And I was like, where I have a TV and a Sega Genesis? Okay. So my dad gets home, and my dad worked his ass off. He was kind of a workaholic. He's intense trial attorney. To give you an example of how intense he was, my folks picked me up for my 10th birthday to go eat, pick me up from school. We went to like some fancy Italian place on 6th Street that I've been dying to go. I don't know why. I thought it was like Marlon Brando when I was 10. Be like, well, just go eat at the fancy Bistro. Yeah, they're like, who the fuck is this kid? So we go down there. To give you an example of how intense my dad was. The good people at Coca-Cola came through again. My dad's driving us to this restaurant, and he's driving this big Tony Soprano, like black Suburban, and we get to a crosswalk downtown Austin, now known as the city from Blade Runner, and Joe Rogan is Harrison Ford. But back then it was a cute little town, and he sees this old guy. I don't know these people. They're crossing the street. My dad punches it, tries to hit the guy. And I go, what? We're like, what's going on? My mom's screaming. We go, what, Dad, what happened? Also, why don't I have linguine in my stomach? It's my birthday. He goes, yeah, I'm sick of that motherfucker. I go, who? He's like, that guy that crossed the street. I go, what happened? He goes, he gave me a weird look at the courthouse yesterday. So he's an intense dude. So he gets home from work early, and he never got home from work early. And he gets home, and he's all excited. He's going to play with his boys. He's got time, and he walks in, and he expects the big, remember the big dad welcome where you're like, Dad's home! Finally, some fucking fun. Dad's home. Mom's been slaving away all day trying to keep up with you and cooking. You're like, yeah, fucking Dad's home! 3 scotches deep from the office. Woo! So he goes, where are my boys? And they go, I sent them to their rooms. And you sent them to their rooms? Yeah, they kept saying chicken butt, so I sent them to their room. And my dad goes, I hear it from downstairs. I had to pause the dolphin video game I was playing. I was a soft child. So I hear it, if Mike keeps everyone down here, lady, you're fucking fired. We're like, cool, Dad's home. So he marches her outside. She had like some old clunker. I think Gene Simmons threw it at her instead of a towel or something. Guys, it's Kiss, come on. Are you aware what they did? They wore clown makeup and just had sex with everyone. So the lady's driving off, and I kind of started to feel bad, because I orchestrated half this shit, We just killed Mr. Mason. So then she's driving off, and she's like in tears. Like, this was her job. This was her primary source of income. And she's driving off, and my brother picks up a rock and throws it at the back of the car. And says, see you never, chicken butt. Like, that's hard to beat. That's pretty hard. That's a pretty good way to blow this out. So then there was this one weird time, same babysitter, no chicken butt in this one. And we're there, and I'm like in my room playing Sega Genesis and not trying to get the Playboy channel to come in, so don't ask, why would you ask that? And my dad gets home early again. I think this was like right before she got fired from chicken butt. And my dad's I'm just gonna go up there and tell him I'm home. Walks in, it's my 2 younger brothers and her slow kid, and they're all, they're kids, so like under 10. Sorry, this one always gets me. Pants around their ankles, underwear around their ankles, just kind of checking each other out. So the lady was on her 3rd fucking strike, is what I'm saying. Like, chicken butt, there's so much more to that. We weren't really as bad as we see, unless you talked to Mr. Mason's widow, and then he was like, you fucking monsters. I was a weird kid. We had a house fire at that house. That house had everything. The only thing it didn't have was a pool. And we'd be like, Dad, come on. And he'd be like, you guys have like 50 grand worth of action figures. Get upstairs. And we did. Every full set of everybody. And they were in these 4 different closets in this game room. Well, one night, I go to a buddy's house. My folks, they still can like pretend to be around each other, Like, it's not going well. the house catches on fire, and it's really bad. And we lived at the top of this really steep hill. And they go, we don't know what to tell you. We can't even get a fire truck up that hill. So it's going to be a minute. Meanwhile, these action figures are just exploding like Black Hawk Down, just burning, petroleum fire. You can see it from space. It's now like a case study with Austin Fire Department because they still come to work. So they finally get it out, and they're like, we could have had this done earlier if you'd only had a pool. Dad fucking told you on that one, right? What's up, chicken butt? Who's chicken butt now? Yeah. So, after the pandemic, we'd all been through a lot, and I convinced Tara, I'm ready to go back and see that house. And I want to show it to you. I want you to see, put the place with the stories, right? Real romantic tale. Let's go see where your fucking whole world got upside down. So we go up there. This is like 25 years later. And we get up there, and we're kind of peeking around. I'm kind of showing her. And I got to show her where the custom built plates that used to be. That's right. And I go to a point where it used to be, and there's a fucking pool. There's a pool. I was so mad. Before Tarek even knew what to do, I jumped out of the car, stripped down naked, jumped in that pool. It was like I was just baptized all over again. The guy, I didn't think anybody was home. The owner of the place comes outside. Hey, what are you doing? Get out of my pool. I mean, I'm a grown man. He's like, this is a stranger naked in my pool. Doesn't know the backstory, doesn't know the history. He just bought a house, whatever. I go in the pool, naked. It felt great. It was like summertime. It's fine, it's fine. You go back in, I lost my childhood here. Guys, if I'm going to open up to you guys have to at least hear me out. I told you, it was going to be a very intimate set. So I was a real weird kid. Fifth grade, they take, remember when you'd go, like all your little friends would go to a movie together, and like the mom would sit with you? Well, this crazy art teacher lady, who was the mom of a friend of mine, he wasn't really a friend, but I knew he'd had fun birthday parties, so I was like, yeah, we'll go to like Chris Hoover's birthday party. His parents are Jewish, they'll throw down. Man, a clown, shit. So we go to see, I'm like, cool, so what are we gonna do? We go to like some private amusement park in Austin, I don't know about, what's the plan? No, we're gonna go see Independence Day. We're 10. Now I had just gotten like way too deep into my dad was way too deep into a scotch bottle, but I got way too deep with him watching an alien, like an autopsy fake thing. I hope it was fake. I didn't know. This is what screwed me up. Among other things, right? You're like, that's what screwed you up? You think that's what screwed you up? Are you even listening to yourself? So I get obsessed. We go see Independence Day, and there's some moments of that. Will Smith kicking aliens' asses instead of humans' asses, or instead of comedians' asses. Very refreshing, right? So we're all like, yeah, Fresh Prince, beat up the aliens, yeah. And Jeff Goldblum, just like smoking and being cool, because in the 90s you smoked and you were cool for it. I mean, they ended it with lighting up cigars, and you're like, is that the message? And then you got to go back to Dare on Monday. And you're like, no, I don't think so. These guys just saved the world. I think they earned one. I think they earned a puff of heater over here. So I get obsessed. Well, the lady makes us sleep outside that night. And I don't know if it's like a Jewish thing. I'm being told it's not. People just stop whatever you're talking about. So we have to sleep in it. He lived under these radio towers. So it's just these cascading red dot lights all night long. I'm in a tent. I go to knock on the door in the middle of the night in my little underoos. I'm like, can I sleep inside? And they're like, no, get back out there. You're probably going to get abducted soon. So I was very obsessed with getting abducted by aliens. One day I'm at the grocery store with my mom and my grandma, and they're checking out, and I'd always, peruse the periodicals, because I was a gentleman, even at that age. So I see World Weekly News. Do you guys remember that magazine? It is like Bat Boy, like Glenn had sex with a vampire, like fun stuff. And I see a thing on the front that says, top 5 ways to prevent alien abduction. Here we go. Boom. Boom. And I look, there's just enough groceries left. I think I can get through it, flipping through it. I see one tip as I'm getting like pulled off, like, come on, put it up. Clinton didn't have sex with that vampire. It's right-wing propaganda. That's what Newt Gingrich wants you to think. I was like, all right. But I have this piece of information now that I've been looking for. Wear yellow underwear. That was the tip. Wear yellow underwear and you will not get abducted by aliens. I mean, also Clinton the vampire thing. It kind of just sounds hot now looking back after True Blood. So I take this a little serious. I don't know why my mom never had me like sit off to an institution. I start wearing yellow underwear every day for the next 3 years. Not the same pair. I'm not some weirdo. It's a different pair every day, but I was so religious about it. Which is a weird thing to say about aliens, right? That if we went somewhere and I got there and opened my duffel bag, my little Phoenix Suns duffel bag, because Charles Barkley was the fucking man. So I'd open it. If the yellow underwear wasn't there, I'm not going to Disneyland. I'm not stepping foot on Space Mountain or the log ride or the teacups without my yellow underwear. Make it happen, George and Kelly. Make it happen. Nobody's having a breakfast with the princesses if I don't get that yellow underwear. Let's just say that. Sorry, Cinderella, we missed you. So I get past that phase because I get to middle school and it's time to play sports and I start playing football. And again, I was a really soft child. Big kid, but soft, very soft. I mean, I've been through a lot. I've been through a little bit, but then there's the whole prisoner of war thing. That was probably the darkest, right? That kid was into it though. He was into it. He'd be like, yeah, how much longer? Can I stay here longer? You're like, fucking knock yourself out, dude. This war is never ending. God damn it, Jamal, I lost my place. I was on the alien thing and I wasn't getting abducted. Remember that? So I go and I play middle school football. And an eighth grader goes, yeah, my football career was just that unmemorable, fuck off. I got better. That was back when they said, hey, hit with your head. It's good for you. Now I'm 37 with CTE and no Super Bowl rings. I don't think it was good for me. So this eighth grader goes, same underwear you're wearing yesterday, right? I was like, no. What am I, some weirdo? It's a different pair. So I just had to take this risk. I was like, look, man, you're going to have to put some faith in yourself. You're going to have to just go without your yellow underwear and roll that dice. You're just going to have to roll that dice. And now, after all those head hits, I don't think I'd remember if I got abducted, which is nice. That's nice. They're not coming anytime soon, I'll tell you that. Don't believe the stuff you're seeing in the news. They're just driving through the bad neighborhood. They're like, hey, I got to show you what the hell's going on in this neighborhood. Come on, honey, let me show you this. They just go real slow, like, my God, who are these creatures? I saw the other day, just nonchalant, Lester Holt, right for a Dateline. His little NBC News on a Friday night. Well, the Pentagon says there could be a mothership in our galaxy headed towards Earth. Anyways, here's Keith Morrison with a cheerleader that got murdered. Wait, what was the other thing? So don't buy this hype. Don't get all scared. Don't make a run on yellow underwear. I'll probably get to a place where I need some myself soon. No, I'm at this point where I'm going to just take me. Like, what color underwear can I wear for you? Just I gotta wear a thong? Like, what's it going to be for you guys to pick me up? Nothing? I'm fine with that. Whatever, man. I think I was scared of aliens too, because you're at that age where like, hey, we found some degenerate's dirty Playboy in the woods. This is exciting. You're like 10, 12 years old. So you're going like, wait, if I touch that feels really good. And you see these aliens are smoothed over. There's no face. And goddamn, if we don't remember what happened to that little boy that befriended E.T. Remember how bad that shit went? The movie ended and he had no friends. Drew Barrymore's just doing a rail at like 6 years old in that closet with those stuffed animals. I don't know. So, pandemic, start driving ourselves crazy. Sorry, I got lost in my pandemic memories. So Tara really, she opened my eyes to stuff I wasn't into during pandemic after we had watched every movie that was ever made before that. And people sleep on Nosferatu, I'm telling you, man. It's worth a rewatch. Or just watch that NBA commissioner that doubles for him. You haven't seen that guy? Like, dead ringer. Every time he comes on, it's like, why is Nosferatu at the finals? So we watched everything, and she's like, let me blow your mind, Sam Slade. I'm like, please do, man. I was like, it's not Aliens. And she's like, it's so much better than Aliens. And that's dope. They decided to mow the grass inside halfway through the set. That was cool. Thank you guys. It looks good. Weed whack the edges before we wrap it up. Okay. So she shows me a story about 5 or 6 young. Well, one's old, but young, very attractive African American women who live in Potomac, outside of DC. Obviously, you guys are voters. You get with it already, I can tell. So it's called The Real Housewives of Potomac. And basically they just fight and shit, and they all start a business. And they have their own little niche business, and they just fight each other. And rag on each other's spouses, being like, or they'll rag on their own spouses. That old lady was like, yeah, my husband's got a weird dick. And everybody was just like, I don't know what to do with that. And the other one there's a cute young one who has like a white husband. I'm like, represent? That's right. I'm with a woman of color. That's what's up. Get them, Chris. They got like a couple of NBA players' wives. Like the ones that aren't gonna like scare the straights on Bravo, you know? Not that there are any straights on Bravo, but I mean like the people who watch. So it's called Real Housewives of Potomac, and I had this epiphany. I realized why I loved it, why I got hooked. I went back and watched like 6 seasons, like in like a week. I knew all the ins and outs. Robin ain't gonna put up with this shit. I don't think so. Juan Dixon, you better get it home early on time. I'm about to get divorced. That's what you're about to get, Juan Dixon. And then they did, so that's sad. I can see it coming. Can you see that? I'm like, you guys are getting divorced. Unless it's myself. My one weakness and my superpowers. Other than, I'll do it in a second. So Real Housewives of Potomac, it was like a light came through, and I had this epiphany. The reason I'm obsessed with it is because it's everything I used to love as a kid about the WWE. Flamboyant clothes, check. Constant shit talking, check. Hype men, huge check. And then the added little bonus of like really nice looking hors d'oeuvres. Rey Mysterio was too busy picking up his eye off the mat to, hey, how's the cheese? So I got obsessed with it, and then I go, wait a minute, it's just the classics. They're just playing the numbers, so it's, oh yeah, tell you something right now, yeah. You coming out to my old white party, you better be wearing all white, yeah. You had hey, listen to me right now. Giselle 316 says, you just got kicked out of my bachelorette party, brother. So I got super into it, as you can tell. Tara will come up and be like, what are you watching? I'm like, it's a spin-off, mind your business. So I look up a few years later. Somehow I've like conned people into hiring me for acting gigs. And yeah, woo! I get cut out of everything. We may run a little long here. We'll see. Or up until I trip and break my neck right here in Troxler's lap. You catch me?
I catch you.
Oh, you're my fucking hero, dude.
It'll be the last
Are you guys serious, or do we still have a shot here? Okay. Guys, 2023. Come on. Let's act our age, please. We'd make a fucking hot couple too. Come on, guys, please. You guys don't watch what's the one where Spider-Man's girlfriend just fucks everybody and does drugs? Euphoria? Well, it'd be like that. It'd be like that. So I get hired to do a little show, not the Walker, Texas Ranger. Everybody's like, oh, so you know Chuck Norris? I'm like, no, I don't. I mean, I met him once like 20 years ago. He's a fucking weirdo. He's like this tall. His wife's like 12. It was the whole thing. So it was a new Walker on CW, and they hired me as a one-off to play try to follow this. The storytelling. Ooh, man. Ooh. They hired me to play the Round Rock Donuts guy competing in a chili cook-off. So already, Emmys, here we come. So my whole shot is they announce we lose because I'm the donut guy at the chili cook-off. What was I, like the underdog and win the thing? Please, this isn't Inception. Let's fucking play it real. So my whole bit is just I look up when they announce I lost, I go, oh, good job everybody else. Don't waste your time looking for it. So they go, wow, this guy's so good at whatever that whole thing was. Being an awful, awful chili cook. They go, I had the whole Smorgy Borgy hat, you know, from the Muppets. It was great. And they go, this guy's so good, we're going to make him a Texas Ranger. You guys see me? A Texas Ranger? Like what, like a bat boy at the stadium? No, like a Texas Ranger. And I'm usually like the guy like standing next to Walker. He's like 7 feet tall, and I'm like, yeah, boss, I think we got to do that. So he's a pretty man, though. He's dumb as rocks, but he's a pretty man. I think he might just pull it off. He might figure this whole thing out soon. So they go, okay, hey, you've been a Ranger for a while, and then you failed your COVID test at the beginning of the last season, and then you brought your friend Rob Huey. You brought him on. And he wouldn't quit hitting on Walker's partner, the female one. The bisexual thing's just for a role. Don't listen to that if he tries to put that on you tonight. So they go, now we're going to make you an FBI agent. I'm like, yeah, that's what's up. Maybe Chili Cook-Off guy was undercover the whole time. You don't know. It might be CIA. This all might be a cover. They did not invest in that story. I got to go ahead and tell you that now. They did not play that out. So I'm an FBI guy now. I do a couple episodes. I got to walk up on like a dead body. It's, you know, it's not really a dead body. What is this, Austin? So the next episode, that guy liked it. You found a dead body, didn't you? The guy's like, my parking lot's a mess. Just rolling up carpets. So they go, yeah, I do a couple episodes of FBI agent, and then I'm there. And the nice thing about being on a set some days, it takes so long. You show up just as hungover as fuck, and they provide food and snacks. And they go, hey, whoa, what's he doing here? And I was like, I've been wondering that the whole time. And they go, he gave me an FBI guy in this episode. And I was like, first of all, my edible hasn't kicked in. What are we talking about? He goes, you can't be an FBI guy because you used to be a Texas Ranger. I was like, okay, let me follow you here. The Round Rock Donuts guy at the Chili Cook-Off. Flawless transition to Texas Ranger. Elite law enforcement. But for a Texas Ranger to then go, you know what, I think I'm gonna move my family to Potomac where all the hot black chicks live. They were like, nope, nobody would ever believe that. I'm like, oh, you guys are making some interesting choices. I learned there's so much difference between like the different networks you work for. I did an HBO show last year with my buddy Rob Huey. We played 2 district attorneys. Now when we get on set, they show Rob a picture of his guy. They're like, this is why we dressed you up like this, okay, actor, pretty guy? Do you have ears or are you just pretty? He's like, okay, yeah. And I go, hey, where's my guy? I want to see a picture of me. Okay, we'll get it. 3 weeks went by. They never showed me the picture. I was like, nice. Didn't want to hurt my feelings. That's professional. I like that. I was like, is it worse than Clint Howard? They're like, way worse than Clint Howard. That's Ron Howard's brother. I know you're like 19, but he's a good kid. He's a Lakers fan. We're going through it right now.
Oh man,
that's bad. We're not. Hey, you don't have to talk bad. I'll just do the show. I'll talk to you after. Okay, let's do that. So I'm on this HBO show. This HBO show, it's unbelievable because we're like full cast members. We don't realize, they didn't say, hey, you guys are full cast members. They just said, we're not going to show him the picture because he'll just cry. So we show up the first day. It's like 4 a.m. on set. And they picked us out of a random lineup to cast us, which is always, when you find that out, you're like, okay, this has nothing to do with anything other than I look like the fat Clint Howard monster. So they had this lineup when they cast us, and Rob shows up wearing like the sexiest black on black John Wick suit you've ever seen. I'm wearing, let's be real, something like close to this but louder. Like I look like Pat Sajak on an acid trip. So What's going on? Is everything good? Okay, everything's ready. So they pick us out of this lineup, and we're both sitting there going, well, I know it's not going to be this fucking guy. It was that fucking guy. So they get us to set, and we're both hungover because we make bad choices in life. And it's Monday at like 4:30 in the morning, and we look around, and we're the only cast people that don't have any kind of chairs, any kind of chairs at all. And we're getting kind of snippy at each other. And we're like, why don't you go get me a fucking chair? Fuck you, Mr. Handsome, get me one. And one of those breakfast sandwiches if they have one. So a PA walks by and is like, hey, we gotta get these guys chairs. They get us the fancy chairs with like the logo on the back of the show. Write our names in them, our character names, that kind of shit. We're like, me and Rob are looking at each other going, are we like making it in Hollywood right now? I think we may be like making it in Hollywood. They go, no, hey, get your chairs. You guys can't be down here. They take us and they put us in between Elizabeth Olsen, Oscar nominee, and Oscar winner Jesse Plemons. They plug us down right there. And Bruce McGill from Animal House is sitting there too. And he could not give a fuck. I don't even think he ever knows where he is. And he goes, what, you gonna ask me about Belushi? I was like, oh, it's written all over me, isn't it? A mile away, he's like, $10 says fat guy asked me about Belushi. So I was like, no, Rob was. That's what Rob was gonna do. So we're sitting there with these actors, these very well respected actors. Just from they're all movie stars. We're like, yeah, I know, tell me about it, right? My dad tried to hit a guy in a Suburban one time across the street. We're like, who is this? So a director walks by and he goes, why are they over here? I said, well, they needed chairs. No, why are they over here next to the Oscar talent? And he doesn't even wait for an answer. He goes, hey guys, whatever, Jack Pepper, what's your fake name? Bill Schultz, okay, get your shit. You're not sitting with these people. This is what we're spending our money on, and it's not you, so let's, come on. As the 3 weeks go by, like every 4 days, we're sitting further and further away. We would show up in the morning. He's like, hey, where's our chairs? Oh, they're like out back behind the dumpster. And Rob would be like, is Paul Stanley there? We'd be like, no, this isn't about Kiss. Drop it. So we get like the A-list treatment. They're cutting our haircuts every morning to make sure everything's in place. So I get this very cool older African-American woman, not near as beautiful as Regina, I'll tell you that right there, and not as fun. But this lady, you kind of were like, are they doing her favors? Because she didn't really seem like, she's like kind of reminded me of the kid that we used to tie up at the basketball court. So I go, what other movies have you done? And she goes, oh, I just did Space Jam. And I got to thinking about it, I was like, wasn't that animated? And I go, cool, you did Space Jam. Whose hair did you cut? She's like, oh, I cut everybody's hair. I was like, aren't half those guys bald? And I go, who's the biggest name whose hair do you cut? I was like, don't say me, ha. She's like, I wasn't. Why would I say that? You're you. And she goes, oh, I cut LeBron's hair for a couple weeks. And at first, it's like a diehard Lakers fan. I was like, look at that. We're finally getting our due this beautiful head of hair. I've got LeBron level hairstylist. And as 2 weeks went on, and I started seeing her weird behavior, like just the only thing she ever ate was avocado chips. You're like, this isn't going to end well for anybody. These are communal bathrooms around here. And this looked like a Jackson Pollock. I was like, you know what? I'll just go back to my chair that's far, far away. And I started thinking about it. I go, LeBron's hair. And then if anybody's followed the NBA at all the last 20 years, has seen LeBron's battle with trying to figure out what to do with his soft hairline. Like maybe if I wear the headband like a little baby in like a bonnet, no one will know I'm going bald. So I get kind of fucking mad. I go, they let that lady cut this hair? They're like, eat your fucking snacks. Shut up. Just don't go near. Do not go over there and ask her about Scarlet Witch. Do not go, hey, what about the multiverse? So they're taking care of us, and I'm getting spoiled. I'm getting really spoiled. And Rob, you know, y'all saw him up here. He doesn't look like he doesn't get laid, right? I look like, they're like, all right, what'd you tell him? You're like a Trump? What's your deal? What'd you tell him? I'm like, no. So Rob just eats like very lightly, like a leading man would, like some fruit for lunch, maybe a nice salad with some salmon. they would make me, the PAs, and I think they were just fucking with me, they would make me go eat with the extras. Yeah, this with the extras. I'm in custom tailored 70s vintage suits, and they'd walk me out 500 pissed off extras who've been eating like stale donuts all day, being ushered in and out of a room with fake smoke, not even getting to hang out anywhere near Jesse Plemons. Again, they made it very clear not to speak to him or look at him. So I get really, really spoiled, and it gets to a point where like I'm kind of getting cocky about it. Like the lady who came by to fix my hair, not that lady, like the one on set that can tie her own shoes. She comes by and I'm like, hey, if you get a chance, how about like a double espresso? She's like, I'm the lady to just make sure you don't look bad. I was like, oh, okay, well tell the other lady. Like, I mean, it's amazing how quick you just go diva when you get that kind of treatment. We wrapped after 3 weeks. That was 3 weeks of us, me and Rob, every day after shooting. This might have turned us into divas. You'd walk over and we would hold our hands out at the end of the day, and the prop guy would just take our props off of our hands. We didn't even have to take our watches off or our rings. All the old Texas Ranger actors from the CW. That's literally that's their new network slogan, by the way. CW. Worse than a shart. Oh, they're getting bought out. I think it's just going to be Shark TV. No, let's focus up, guys. So Rob and I are riding in this shuttle back and forth to set, and we realized, because we're so amped, because we're getting to perform with all this A-list talent and not sit anywhere near them, that we start doing bits on the shuttle for the crew and the wardrobe ladies and the makeup ladies and the hair ladies and the village that it takes to get this ready for not TV, HBO. So we're doing bits, and they sent me out there to extra lunch that day, and Rob ate like his little fruit bowl, like the prettiest girl on set brought it to him. Just bent over and he just put it on her back and just ate it all. Like, Rob, it's unfair when you're that good looking. Jesse Plemons was like, hey, come sit next to me. Fuck that fat guy. And Scarlet Witch was like, hey, I bet I can get you into Marvel movies. He was like, goodbye forever. I'm going with her. So we're doing bits, and at that extra lunch that day, they would send me in, and there's all these mad extras, and they see me come in, they're like, oh, this guy, he thinks he's better than us. And yeah, I did think I was better than him. Blatantly so. Like, not even close. Not even close. I'm like, you people, don't, yeah, no. Just get swallowed up by hungry extras. And Rob goes, hey, what'd you eat? I was like, well, first they announced that I had to cut a 500 extra line because I had to get back in there to rehearse a scene where I had no dialogue. That sounds fair. So it's me versus hungry mob of extras who think somehow they're going to break out, like I did from being an extra. And come on, you were there. Back me up. Can't all just be Lakers jokes and LeBron's hair. So I ended up having like five plates of beef stroganoff, right? Like every single thread of the suit's like, we can do this. Don't let go. So I walk back in and Rob goes, hey, what'd you have? I was like, just beef stroganoff. And he's like, no, how many plates? I was like, whatever. And I told him, I was like, all right, I had like 5 plates. It's awesome. My edible kicked in. And I get back, and we're riding back on the shuttle one day, and Rob goes, I call him Stroganoff Boy, and announces that to the whole shuttle. All these like hard-working crew people making movie. I call him my Stroganoff Boy. They're like, who the fuck are these people? They're in this? Why are they in this? Like, they're not letting them look at Jesse Plemons. They're like, no. So Rob continues, and we think we're killing, but we're delirious, and we're having so much fun, and we're so much better than the extras, And that was like a Friday afternoon. So we show up and set on Monday, and before we start shooting, they come up and they go, hey, guys, there was a meeting over the weekend. And we're like, so we get to sit back in the circle, right? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. But we had a meeting, and a lot of people on set aren't comfortable with you calling, I'd say Mr. Slade, but they didn't even know my name. They're calling this guy Stroganoff Boy. And something about him saying my Stroganoff Boy really upset people. So he sent us down at like this little HR meeting. And we're going like, it was a fucking bit. Is this why there's nothing funny happening in Hollywood? The answer is yes. So he can't call me Stroganoff boy anymore. So we didn't get to sit by anybody either. So then I go, hey, we're having so much fun and this is going so well. Why don't I take you back to Walker with me? And there's no way we don't get a spinoff. Let's be real. So we go back to Walker together. He gets fired. And I put things in perspective. Well, maybe don't be so handsome. You're scaring off the star. But we're on Walker, and just to put it, like the last thing, put it in perspective, Rap Day on HBO. I'm finally getting to eat lunch with the cast, where I'm supposed to be, better than the extras, remember? So they have steak, lobster, shrimp, you know. Rob's going like, don't drain the ocean, fat white whale. I'm like, yeah, okay. Fucking rubbed elbows, like literally brushed into Jesse Plemons. He's like, I got people serving me fruit over here. So steak, lobster, then we go to do CW, and Rob's been fired, and I'm there, and they're not buying my storyline about being an FBI guy anymore, you know, because that's ridiculous. Chili cook-off guy? Absolutely. Promote him with a gun. So we wrap Walker. Oh, you know, you guys have grown for so much tonight, but no one groaned because they canceled Walker. No, we don't know if it's canceled. We don't know if it's canceled. The very smart execs at Shark TV will decide. So the Rap Day, we go to have lunch, and you're like, I'm sure they'll do something nice. You know, blow out this budget one last time, right? Beef stroganoff. Beef stroganoff. That's the difference between CW and HBO. That's the difference between. I get home from these sets, and I'm so jaded, and Tara's like, hey, baby, like Saturday afternoon, I'm gonna go run some errands real quick, maybe stop and have a drink with a friend. Hey, do you want me to bring anything? Yeah, cheesesteak and a double espresso would be great. She's like, I'm sorry, what did you say? I'm like, oh, I didn't know who I was talking to. Sorry, nothing. She's Native American, so it took a long time for me to convince her to take a shot on me. You saw the last time we tried this. It didn't go well. I felt really bad at first because she'd be over at my place. I'd be like, "Are you cold? Can I get you a blanket?" And she's like, "You're making this worse. I'm never sleeping with you." And I was like, "Oh, you will." But isn't that how it went? Anyways, enough with Thanksgiving. We made it work. She kept telling me she was Irish for the longest time. I was like, I don't think you're Irish. Like, it's kind of my thing. I can kind of just tell. She's like, no, I'm Irish. I'm like, yeah, but isn't that what like all frat guys say too? You're like, yeah, I'm Irish. So she does her 23andMe, because like Native American, which is like they don't let anybody have their stuff because the aliens are going to pick them up. So they have that going for them. But then also, she finds out that not only is she not Irish, she's German, Italian, and Iranian. And I just went through like my 8th grade history textbook in my head real quick, and I was like, those guys were bad guys. And those guys were bad guys. And those guys are all bad guys. And I was like, oh my God, I better act right. And I did. And look, this is going tonight. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. This has been so awesome. It's just so great to see so many smiling faces after the pandemic and out again. That was good. Yeah. Everybody's like, shut up and take your applause break, fat guy. If it was a fucking piece of potato, you would have already shoved it down your throat. So I get home from these sets and I complain to Tara like how stupid people are. Tara goes, well, if you think people are so stupid, why don't you just go ahead and start a cult? And I thought about it. I'm not going to do that. I'm too lazy for that. But I thought about it. It's going to be called Sam Town. All the long hair, the big faded aviator glasses. Tara will have a whole bunch of new sister wives. I will be the moral compass to all the children. We'll probably have to take it to some island, obviously. And here's the thing: is it'd be like for tonight I will regale the children of stories from when we beat the Howard Stern show on Dudley and Bob. After that, the children would like to do a little play for you. It's called the 1998 Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. Los Angeles Lakers versus the Portland Trail Blazers. And I'm just going, I'm not ready to open the 7th seal, but soon it will be time. What is that? I don't even know what that means. It just sounds cool if you're a coal eater. I would know what to do with Sister Wives. It's clear, right? So we've got this cult, right? We're on this island. Tara's got sister wives. They all like, none of them are attracted to me. But that's the nice thing about being a cult leader, right? You're like, it's not up to you. It's not up to you. And also, I'm your child's father now. So maybe you should have thought about that before you got on the boat. I don't know. Where'd you think we were going? It's called Samtown. Now, tonight, the children would like to do selected scenes from Martin Scorsese's 1989 film, Goodfellas. All right, it's more like it. Are you having fun at all, sir? Are you somebody, should I know who you are? Are you like with some local publication? I took care of the warrants in San Marcos years ago. Let's just get that out of the way. They fucking arrested the cop by the time it was all over with. So Samtown, right? It's gonna be fun. But here's the thing is, don't try to fucking escape. I swear to God. I swear to me. We're at that level now. That's where we're at now. I'm just hoarding old video game systems. So like, why are we raiding it? It's not guns. Like, yeah, but he's getting a little crazy on the NBA Jam Tournament Edition. We're gonna have to shut this shit down. They've sent a fact-finding mission to come check it out. They landed our little airstrip. All the cars are just like the cars I had in high school. I wrecked a few, it doesn't matter. They couldn't put me at the scene, fuck off. But if you try to escape, it's not gonna work out well. Because before you know it, on your way, trying to get back from the main encampment, as I like to call it, our home. You better not try shit. You try to take off, get back to that airstrip, just over the hills. Woo, woo, woo. Dirt bikes, four-wheelers, the whole shit. Dune buggies. Just dudes in Ghostbusters t-shirts and Lakers jerseys. You will not get out of this shit. You're here for life. You knew the deal when you got on the boat. So finally we're being closed in on. This is it, and I know this is it. I have no more tricks up my sleeve. People are questioning my leadership, questioning the message, the old 7 seal or whatever. They're like, I like just the 1 seal that used to fuck supermodels. No, we're not talking about that. So that's what I know. We have to gather everybody in our big ceremonial front yard. And it's time for everybody to drink your watermelon White Claw. Now, if you do not drink the watermelon White Claw, you will be fed your watermelon White Claw. There's just seas of just bodies just in Ghostbuster t-shirts and Lakers shirts. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much, New Braunfels. Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming out. This was so much fun. So much fun. You guys are an awesome crowd. Thank you so much.
Beautiful town.